Hello and welcome to Video Revealed. I'm Colin Smith and I have essential text formatting shortcuts. If you ever do anything with text, these are huge shortcuts that you should know and learn and understand what the heck kerning is. So many years ago, in the days of PageMaker, believe it or not, there were certain keyboard shortcuts at that time, Aldous, that made PageMaker that came up with, and they stuck. And they're the same keyboard shortcuts in Illustrator, InDesign, and Photoshop, but not Premiere Pro. It's because it's a completely different title designer, doesn't use that. But I mean, if you're creating anything in Illustrator, in Photoshop, which I know I'm always doing that, these are some great tips to understand. Let's go have a look. So the first thing I want to make you aware of is something called kerning, or the space between letters, and kerning pairs. I brought up the character palette here to show you that when you use a good quality typeface, like the ones available with Creative Cloud, they come with kerning pairs and they're designed by the font designer. So if I'm between the O and the R, you'll notice in the kerning value, it's 0. If I move to the left, by default, between an F and an O, because there's space in there to use, this particular kerning pair is -19. If we keep going to the left, you'll see 0, 0, 0, and a -70, because you can see that we've got so much room inside. So you can either come up here and change these numbers by clicking in here, which is incredibly inefficient, or if you hold down the Alt key on Windows, Option on Mac, make sure that your cursor is in between two letters and tap left and right. So this is the Alt left or Option left and right, and I can change the kerning. I let my finger off the Alt or Option key, jump to the next one, and then I can kern that one. So if you wanted to manually go and tighten something up, you could do that, or move things further away. If you have more than one character selected, so let's select all of this text, Ctrl A or Command A on the Mac. Now when I hold Alt on Windows, Option on Mac, left and right, I'm now changing the tracking, and you'll see that value right up there. This is the tracking value overall. So if you're working, you wouldn't do this a lot for body copy, not if you had like a giant paragraph of text, but you sure as heck would use this for headlines. And you drop it in, and maybe you want a more spacious, airy look, drop it in. You wouldn't kern every single one. You select it, track it, then go back in and fine tune. You can kern on top of the tracking. So those are nice keyboard shortcuts to remember to get you to do all of that. You can also select the text. You'll notice I'm moving left and right with my arrow. If you add the Shift key to this, then you're selecting individual characters. If you add Control Shift on Windows, Command Shift left and right, you're selecting complete words. If you go up and down, you'll be selecting full lines of text. So you could easily select that first line of text and then track that differently from every bit of the text that's on top or below it. There's also leading too. If I select all, hold the Alt key and use up and down arrows, now I'm changing the overall leading of that. And again, you'll see the value up there in the character panel as I start to change that value. There's always a default value of leading that something comes with, and it's usually for body copy. It's not necessarily for headlines. That's why a lot of times if it's something big that you're working on, you've got to tweak those. Now there's one last one that I want to show you, and that is baseline shift. So I hope you understand that if you have the cursor placed and you use these keyboard shortcuts, it does one thing. If you have something selected, it does another thing. So if I select, let's do something crazy like move this E. I'm going to hold the Shift key, go left. Now when I hold the Alt key and the Shift key, I'm changing the baseline shift. And again, you can see that in the character panel up there. So what you could do completely with all of this stuff, I can move these characters around without even, I mean, I'm doing something pretty crazy here, but I do want to show you how much control you have just by using these keyboard shortcuts. So look at that. That word text is still legible, but and it's all crammed in together, whether that's right or wrong, but it is something that you can do. And you know, you can do this to fake things like fractions, but OpenType, a lot of the typefaces actually have built-in fractions that have been designed as fractions by the actual font designer, and those are the ones you should use. Oh yeah, I did forget one, and that's After Effects. After Effects, let's go have a look. The exact same things work for After Effects, so same selecting, tracking, kerning, baseline, shifting, all of that stuff works here. So that is the same. So once you learn that in InDesign, in Illustrator, in Photoshop, and After Effects, your text formatting is going to be way more effective and faster, and sometimes you just need to tighten things up. So hopefully you found this useful. I know that I've been using this since, well, like the end of the 80s, I've been using these keyboard shortcuts, and they are in the back of my head, and they work really well. I'll make sure that I have them there in the description for you to remember. Okay, whew. Hopefully you found this useful. If you have, then please take a moment and subscribe if you're not already a Video Revealed subscriber. We do appreciate all the support you're giving us here, and we promise to have tons more tutorials going on that help you to be more productive and efficient and a type rock star. All right, until next time, I'm Colin Smith, and it's my job to get you looking your best.